Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
So let's just say that I make my own simulation.
Goat Podcast. Yeah, I'm ready to start whenever you guys are.
I'm here, bro.
We're all here.
Yes.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
I don't want to check my mic.
Jared check.
I'm going to rebel against the mic check.
Goat Podcast, episode 5.
Cinco.
Welcome, everybody, to the Goat Podcast. You can reach out to us. Goat Podcast, goatcast.com. Maybe it's going to...
Spell that.
Goatcast. G-O-A-D cast.
.com.
.com.
Nice.
.com. And then you'll be able to get in contact with us there, do all your stuff, send us an email. Not the hate email. We don't listen to that stuff anyway. We just listen to the positive stuff. How Josh's hair is looking, you know, Jared's pretty face, that kind of stuff. We only accept compliments at goatcast.com.
You mean the mop on my head?
It's a beautiful mop. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We don't take, oh, you've offended me. Oh, my feelings are so hurt. We don't do any of that.
Because we don't offend people.
We don't. We don't go out of our way to do so, but at some point somebody's going to be offended at something.
I love hate mail.
Hate mail,
because then I get to print it out and then burn it.
Ooh. Well, yeah.
Light some fires.
Yes. There you go. But there is no shortage of the kind of insane hate mail that is going to come our way.
Oh, yeah.
And once the YouTube video's up, forget about it, man. This thing's going to be stupid. There's going to be so many people on there with no jobs or lives that are just talking random nonsense to us. If you listen to that stuff, you'll go insane. Crawl up in a little ball, start crying. You never get anything done. This isn't for the faint at heart.
Oh, yeah, no way.
You know?
Yeah, people will get offended and then put up a fence around their minds.
How funny is that? They put up. They get so mad at you. They put up a chain link fence just so they can still see you. They just
some earplugs.
Some earplugs. They'll put up earplugs and they'll just type frantically. These guys call themselves Christians. They don't even know what good and bad is. These guys are horrible individuals. They should be shot. And then the hypocrisy will come in.
Morbid and horrid.
Yes. These guys are horrible individuals. They should be shot.
Oh,
like,
man.
Shot? Really?
Ouch.
Like, your plan for us is just to take us out in the back, put us down.
Execution style.
Like, no redemption for us.
No.
Trying to be funny, crossing over some lines, pulling it back. No big deal. Nah. Shoot them.
No questions asked.
Where'd these guys get their theological degrees from? Cracker Jack box?
The Bible.
Benny Hinn told me that if you... Have you gotten your theology from Benny Hinn? Oh my gosh! And then of course we're gonna have a bunch of people listening to this that, it's not intended to be a Christian podcast really, but it is our ecosystem. I mean, It is what we are. It is who we are, and we balance everything with what is real life and what is
good, what is evil.
What is good and evil? Yeah.
What is good?
You guys, you want to play a game?
Evil? Let's play a game. I would love to play a game.
But I
like to play games.
I have a hard time playing games, but I'll play.
We'll play a word association game. I'm going to say a word, and you guys say if it's good or if it's evil.
This game is evil.
Is there good, bad, and evil, or just good and evil?
There is. Do I need to check my mic?
No, I'll check your mic for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because we do mic check. We do mic check like this, yo. Boom. And then
Remember-
when we go live, he goes, hey, how are you?
He said he's going to rebel
I
on the
yes.
mic check.
I did. Remember, right at the beginning, I said I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
And then now you just made me do it.
Yes. Well, everybody's got to do it.
That was bad.
You know what? I just want to play the game.
That was bad.
I just want to play the game now.
Was that a
Okay.
part of the game? Rebel?
Ooh. Good word.
Yeah?
Okay, rebel.
Bad.
No. See, there's too many variables. Rebel against
You and your
what?
variables.
What are we rebelling against? Rebelling against...
Well,
rebel
okay,
against...
what is the context of this rebel word that you are
Okay.
referring
That
to?
was your word. That was your word. Okay, let's start with my words. Ready?
Yeah.
Chupacabras.
Oh, they're supposed to be evil.
Evil.
I've been
Okay.
attacked by one.
All right. Nebraska.
Nebraska. I'm sure it's fine.
Lame.
I've
I
never
don't
been
know.
You just
I'm
offended.
sure it's good.
You just offended all 16 people that live in Nebraska.
It's good.
I've never been there, so I can't really say. I guess good.
I hear it's beautiful.
Yeah, good.
Hunting animals.
It's good.
It's okay. I don't see it as. It depends on if you're
Yeah,
hunting them for game, or if you're hunting them for sport, or
Isn't
if
that the
you're
same?
just hunting them because you just want to kill animals. So
Well, I guess hunting, like in the traditional sense, I have a hunting license, and I'm hunting. It's fine. I mean, I'm good with it.
I've had
Okay.
bear jerky before. That was pretty good.
I'm sorry.
Bear.
Oh, bear jerky. I thought you said air jerky.
Dude, I love air jerky.
So bear jerky.
Yeah.
So good or bad? Bear jerky.
Good.
Never had it, but it sounds good.
Good.
All right. Diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Good.
Good.
Jared says with a question. Monarchies.
Depends on the monarch.
Ooh. Context.
Yes.
Tyrannical monarchies.
Bad. Evil.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what that
Evil.
means.
I know. I'm just gonna say whatever Josh said.
How about communism?
Bad.
Bad, right?
Okay. Bad, right? Socialism.
Bad.
Bad.
That's just a different word for communism.
It's kind of like whole milk with more water, like 2%. Socialism is like the 2% milk of communism.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's the whole point of the podcast right now is good and bad. Like I was trying to think, because last week and a few weeks, over the last several weeks, we've talked about, this couple, Adam and Eve, cruise into the garden. They're made
Cruising
in
for
God's
a bruising.
right. They're cruising for a bruising. They have this whole setup that God created for them. This whole kind of construct that He's built.
Yes.
And then He made them and He put them in the garden. The only prohibition they had was don't eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Of course, of which they did. And then their eyes were opened,
Yes.
and then the rest is history. I've been trying to think over this week, what parts of my life don't I associate with either good, bad, or evil?
What do you mean? What parts of your life don't you associate?
My alarm goes off in the morning, and I wake up to go to work.
That's
Bad.
horrible. That
Immediately.
is evil.
Why?
Because I have to get up and go to work. Now tell me this, okay? When that alarm rings in the morning, so I have to go to work, is it good, bad, or evil that I pray that the Lord come back soon so I don't have to go back to work?
I'd say that's evil because there's plenty of people that don't know the Lord yet.
I would say that's good if you're planning on you not being the one to share it. You're like, well, good. I don't tell people about Jesus anyway, so come on, Lord.
Come on, Lord.
Go home. Look, I often hope that Jesus comes back soon, just so But it's selfish.
Yeah, that's so that would be
It
evil.
is selfish. Yes,
That'd be-
it's self.
Are we still playing the game? Evil.
Evil.
It's evil.
We're only playing the game if you can get your face on the mic.
Oh,
On the
okay. All
mic.
right. Okay.
Gotta hear ya. Gotta hear
Yeah.
ya.
So you're saying throughout your day you want to think about what you're doing as good or evil.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, you don't, but you do.
I'm having a hard time in that middle spot
Uh-huh.
where before Adam and Eve ate the fruit,
Okay.
they lived in a mindset, in a state of mind, in some kind of environment where they didn't have any concept of either good.
They did.
Or evil.
They did
Okay,
have a
let-
concept.
Here, let me read it. All right?
Okay, you read it and then I'll argue.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend it and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die.
Okay, so right there, he knows there's bad, don't eat that, that's bad. Eat that, that's good. Everything created, everything here is good and it's for you. This, don't eat that, and that's bad. So he already had a knowledge, not like when he ate it, but there was still a knowledge of this is bad and this is good.
No.
Yeah, he
There's
did.
there's nothing in that
There's
passage that he
no-
just read
right.
that alludes to Adam knowing good and evil from
No,
that.
no. He knew that eating that fruit was bad
How? If there was no
because God told him not
there was
to.
no
No.
knowledge of it though.
He told him, don't eat this
Yeah.
because you'll die.
What's death?
What's death?
He knew it was bad. You guys are killing me.
No, I don't think so. I
He-
really don't
you
think so
don't
because
think he-
no, because it doesn't state that he knew that it was good or bad. God just said, "Here's the boundary. Don't do it."
Right,
He
don't
didn't,
do it.
He didn't say anything else.
He knew. It's like so obvious to me that, hey, when I tell you, don't do this. Oh, should I tell you it's evil? Don't do. If
Well,
I
we
say-
know now
If I
because
say,
we know.
listen.
Did Adam know?
Okay.
That's the whole thing. We know with our knowledge right now because we already have that knowledge of good and evil. All right, we're
Yeah.
born into it. Adam didn't.
Adam was like a day old. Okay, he's a day. He doesn't know anything. Okay, he's a grown up.
Right.
Exactly.
With a mind of a look. Okay.
You just
Think-
said it. He
think-
was a day old. He knows nothing.
Right. So how much can you give him? How much can you give the guy? How much? You know, you can't feed him all the good and all the evil right away. Here, boom. This is everything in the world that's evil. This is everything that's good. It's like your kids, right? You look at your kids. I look at my daughter. She's probably naked right now. Okay, she's 5 years old. She doesn't wear clothes. She doesn't wear clothes anywhere. Okay, she doesn't like wearing them. Why? Because she's 5. She has no shame. She doesn't care. She doesn't see it as wrong, right?
Right.
And right now she's 5 years old, and so we don't have a problem with it either, as long as she's in the house. When she goes out, right? Okay. But look at this. She's got this limited knowledge of good and evil, right? And with the knowledge of good and evil, there's also the knowledge. There's a judgment, being able to judge right from wrong. Okay. They're like a day old. They just got there. He says, here, there's a maturity, right, of growing, of learning. Here's your first test, boys. Don't eat that. Eat any of that. And what does the Lord tell us? Hey, be faithful in the small things, and I'll give you more. Okay, they're a day old. What happens after a day?
Okay.
They can't even make it past that.
But it's a big difference between now and then.
Yeah. Death entered the world.
Yes, exactly.
But you can't tell me they didn't know good, bad. Boom.
They knew that God said, "Don't eat it."
Right. Exactly. They knew it was bad.
No.
They didn't know it was bad because they didn't know. They didn't have any knowledge of what bad was.
You have like
Yeah, they had the knowledge that eating that fruit was bad.
How do they know if it was bad?
Because God told them, don't eat it, you'll die.
What's death?
Obviously.
They didn't know what death was. They did not know what death was because death entered the world when?
Either
Death entered the world when?
depends
right,
on who you
when
ask.
they ate the apple or whatever fruit it was, the almond, the apricot, Strawberry.
Apricots are ugly, man. Nobody would look at an apricot
A fig?
and think that thing is good to make one wise.
Oh, yeah,
Whatever.
no way.
Whatever this thing was. I see it and I'm like, for you guys to stand, I can't even look at you the same anymore to tell me, oh, they didn't know it was bad.
Our first email is
Okay.
going to be from Jared.
I know. How could they know if it was bad or good if they had no knowledge of it?
Hey.
No knowledge.
God gave them the knowledge. Hey.
When?
No.
Tell me what happens after they eat the fruit. Read that to me.
No.
Yeah, then-
No, we shan't. We shan't.
Yeah, after they ate the fruit.
After
not
they
before.
eat the fruit.
Right.
Not before.
Not
But-
before.
Listen,
No.
you can't get a consequence for something.
Yes, you could. A
Sure.
consequence doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad.
You can't. He can't give them the consequence he gives them and be like, hey, because you did this thing, Adam, you knew. Oh, we didn't know what death
No,
was.
if
We didn't
you
know it was
eat
bad. Yeah, I told you, eat it and you'll die. You sound like my
Right.
kids. Oh, we didn't know it was bad.
No.
I told you.
But that's the difference. They didn't know what was good or bad.
yeah, because
Our kids do because we are growing up in it.
it was.
I knew what was good and bad, and I still did bad. But because they didn't, they had no knowledge of it until they ate the forbidden fruit.
This is interesting. I think we should
The
move
best-
on because we're gonna say the same thing.
The best part about this is I had I couldn't have possibly known the conversation was going to go this direction. This is
Me
the
either.
This is the
Yeah,
best part
me
about
either. This is
the best-
great. I love it. Jared hates us. Jared hates us. He can't look at us. That's
He
bad.
can't even look at us.
That is
That's
evil.
That's bad. That's evil. Assuming they're the same thing, which they're not, which we'll get to, I think,
Yes, we should get
at some
to that.
point.
We should.
But well, we can't just leave this hanging out here though. Like there's like all 26 people that are listening to this podcast right now are yelling at Jared going, "Dude, they didn't eat the fruit yet." Right? And so I think Josh and I are the majority. Because that knowledge of whatever is good and whatever is evil didn't happen until after they partook of the tree that God said not to partake of. So they have no concept of what is good and what is evil. And that's what I've been trying to spend my week thinking about. I associate either good or bad with everything I do.
I'm glad.
I'm breathing. That's good. I'm driving. That's good. Or
What
that's
if I
bad.
didn't? Yeah.
Well, if
Jake driving? Yeah,
my
probably bad.
my intentions of driving are good, but I'm sitting on the 405 freeway in traffic, that's bad.
That's bad.
Too
but
much
I-
time on my hands.
But I give that quality to just about everything I do. It's either good or it's bad or it's evil. So in my mind I'm thinking, what was their existence like before they had that knowledge? And that seems it seems, if I'm just being honest, like contentment to me. Like this is a humble I think of it like this. The creator of the universe has decided to put you on this planet and then just say, hey, like Jared said, this is all yours, guys. It's all yours. I don't care what you do with it. Eat it. Be free. Live your life. Don't eat that. That's it. That's simple. Maybe at some point they had some communication or some kind of talk about what death is, because I don't want to get into that, but I mean, it seems like that's implied. Like if you eat that, you will surely die. Remember the conversation of death we had a few minutes ago?
'Cause-
That's going to happen to you if you eat that tree. Okay? Oh, and then Adam would say, okay.
well, according to you guys, Adam would be like, "Oh, death? Oh, that's not bad because I have no knowledge of what bad and good is." Oh,
Right.
Listen to what you're telling. Oh, don't do that. Do that. I'm just a retarded idiot.
Okay, Jared, tell me what was the first death in the Bible?
What was the first death? Whatever animal God used to cover their nakedness.
Right. So
Okay.
that's when they knew what death was.
Okay, that's when they knew what death was.
Yes.
But when they knew, hey,
When did they know when death was bad?
When
Or-
Cain killed Abel?
or good, because look,
Because that was good. That was a good thing.
because to some people, dying right now,
PETA is going
would
to
be
get really mad at us right now.
maybe, and,
Killing that animal was good.
and maybe this turns into one of those
Hey.
where there's certain people right now listening to this that would say, dying right now is not a bad thing. I can't wait to die, and they're on their last nerve.
Let
In
me
which
ask
case,
you a
look, we're here
question.
for you. Reach
Okay,
out
if it's
to
a
us and we'll
serious
talk.
question, that's good.
It's a serious question.
It's a serious question.
Do you think they would have eaten fish before the fall?
No.
No.
No, they were vegetarians.
Veggies.
And that's absolutely for sure.
Vegans. Straight up vegans.
Vegans.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
because there was no death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just asking because if they had dominion over all these creatures, over all these animals, was there a dominion? Because you guys, you wouldn't believe that a fish has a soul, doesn't have a, you know what I mean? It's just there like they weren't able to partake, or they wouldn't have partaken in that, or we're assuming they wouldn't have partaken in that. This is just a question. I have no thought on it here or there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have partaken in it yet. It wasn't until God gave the mandate, I think, under a covenant with Noah, that he said, go ahead and kill animals. They're there for you to eat. But that was a transformation in the ecosystem and in our DNA that caused us to be reliant on outside sources of protein.
Want to make sure, like, they had no, you're telling me they had no understanding, or you think they had no understanding of dying. So, you know, there wasn't they didn't accidentally squish a bug. The bugs wouldn't squish.
I don't know that. I really don't. I mean, you're probably the only one that I've ever heard say that, but I do not. I believe that they did not have any type of understanding of death because death did not enter the world yet.
Okay.
That's why I referenced the first death in the Bible is the animal that God himself had to have sacrificed to cover them, his mercy
Well, that's
upon
why
them.
I was just wondering if you thought it was different for the animals, or if it was, you know, death wasn't there for humans, but they ate fish or flies.
Well,
grasshoppers.
once we get to Cain and Abel, obviously Abel was, Cain. Abel's the one who sacrificed an animal.
Yeah, Cain and Abel are the ones that had the alternating the different sacrifices, but we're not completely sure on insects.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if you step on an ant or a beetle, for sure, man, 200-pound. Well, let's see, Adam. Let's assume Adam is included in the fossil record or somewhere, right? So Adam, probably that many years ago, was like 4.5 feet tall. He probably weighed like 16 ounces. I don't even know what.
What? No,
He probably rode on
he
a.
was way bigger
He
than
probably
that.
rode on a gang of beetles to work.
I would say he was
I don't
way
know,
bigger than
but
that.
Josh has no idea what to say.
No.
He's like,
I'm thinking about this. There was dinosaurs at the time. There was Tyrannosaurus Rex. There was things bigger than Adam. Did they accidentally step on him? Or do you think they had some sort of I cannot, like some sort of instinct that they had?
maybe the bugs were more intelligent then.
Maybe.
They just got out the way.
Yeah.
Now they're arrogant. They're just like, I'm going to walk wherever I want. So,
Run into car windshields.
yeah.
Hey, I could go through this.
I'm like, hey, that doesn't look like it's going to hurt. Pow! Like, oh no. So let me ask you this. Is the word good and the word bad so in Hebrew, tov and ra, which depending on the context could mean either good and bad or good and evil. Interesting that there's not two separate words for good, really.
Well,
There's good and there's bad, there's good and there's evil. Are those always necessarily moral words?
no, because evil can mean wrong, or there's a bunch of different words. I can't think of them, but
Well,
it's like
it's tov and ra.
wrong, bad. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say it depends on the context and what word they use in the original language.
Well, they use tov and they use ra.
Yes, I
Ra
know
is the
those,
word for
yes.
evil,
Uh-huh.
and it's also used in the word for bad throughout the Old Testament in Hebrew.
Okay.
Right.
So there's really no word for. I mean, there's other words for like bad, but most often it's ra.
Okay. Yes. Right.
So it's just context. It's like
Right.
I have some.
It depends on the context of it. And while Jacob looks that up, Jared, what do you have to say?
Are they necessarily moral?
listening.
Are they necessarily moral? Moral words.
Are they more like? Are they only associated with morality?
Yes.
Moral thing.
No.
No. I
No.
don't think so.
Let's just say, like
The
you
cake
know,
was good.
Yeah, the cake was good, or the
What came out of you was evil. The gas,
The what?
the smell
Out of what?
out of you.
or you know how like
Oh.
pizza, be like, hey, would you like to eat some pizza? No, that went bad a day ago.
Yeah, that. Or you could say that went evil.
That was pretty.
You could say that it went evil.
You could say that.
Now, see, I happen to think that bad is a morality neutral word because it's subjective.
Well, how'd the pizza go bad then?
Well, it just goes bad, it goes spoiled, it goes rotten.
Right.
Right? That's a word for rotten.
Right.
right.
Oh, okay. So we couldn't say
Okay.
pizza went evil.
It didn't go evil because it has no
Yeah, it went bad.
It has- Moral-
It went wrong.
It has
no
it has-
moral
It
malintentions.
has no. It has no part for where evil could take over it.
Well, I'm gonna start saying that that pizza went evil.
Pizza went evil. Everything went evil. Well, that's the confusion not the confusion, but that's the struggle I have with Genesis chapter, that section of Genesis where it says they learned good and evil, or good and bad. However there's good people they either say Tov and Ra is good and bad, or good and evil.
Mhm.
Depends on the context, but I'm looking at that going, okay, so what is good and what is bad? And if all you had ever were those two words meaning some kind of moral equivalent,
Mm-hmm.
then your life would be like hell.
What do you mean?
Well, because everything would have some quality of, somebody could come up to you and they say, don't drive like that. That's bad. Like
People
bad, like evil, or bad, just bad,
Well, that's why I think
or
it's
bad, you don't like it.
It's the same, bad, evil. Like if someone says, "Hey, don't drive like that," that's bad. Or someone said, "Hey, don't drive like that," that's evil. I think it's interchangeable.
Well, yeah, but
Because
Not necessarily, because someone could be a bad driver out there, but then what are their intentions? It depends on the intention, also on the motivation. What if somebody is intentionally driving bad so they could hurt somebody?
right, see, and I don't think that I think the word evil doesn't have to necessarily be
That is evil, though.
morale. Like it can mean
morale.
bad.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to mean you feel good about your job or you like your boss.
No, I think
Especially if your boss is evil.
He's got low
when
morale.
when you look up the definition of evil and it says bad, wrong, like there's 10 different
In
meanings
the
for it.
English language.
Even in the
So-
Greek and the Hebrew.
Okay.
When you look up Strong's definition of evil,
Uh-huh.
it's got a ton, like 10 different.
I have one right
Oh,
there,
I
right?
lost it.
Yeah, it's got 10 different
Well, look,
meanings.
like one of the better, I guess one of the better passages to illustrate what I'm saying is, I think when you look at good and you look at bad or good and evil, there's some subjectivity to it, and it's neither, some things in your life they're neither good nor evil from your particular standpoint. You look at Joseph, for instance, Joseph, who had that funky Technicolor dream coat.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? And his brothers threw him down in a hole, expecting him to die at first,
Motivation.
right? And then they ended up selling him to the
The-
Ethiopians, I think.
Egyptians, right? Oh, no, yeah.
I think Ethiopia, and then they traded him at some point.
Right.
He ended up in Egypt.
Yeah.
And then what he says in Genesis 50 was that, why does it keep changing on me? Here it is. He says, "For you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good."
Okay.
So was it evil or was it good that he got sent Well, it was good that he got sent to Egypt, but it was
was
evil in the
what
way
his
that it
brothers
went.
Did. Yeah, it was evil what his brothers did. I just looked up the word evil in the Strong's dictionary, and it shows it as natural or moral. So you can have it either way.
So give me a natural way.
Yeah,
You
give me
use
a
that
natural
word,
evil.
Evil.
That pizza went evil on us, and we could not eat it.
He's got something against pizza.
I
Yeah.
know, man. I'm the one who brought
yeah.
up the pizza.
Not
but-
pleasing, sad, sore, sorrow, trouble, vex, wicked, worse,
I was gonna say wicked. It
harm,
depends.
heavy, hurtful, mischief, misery, bad.
It depends on the context of how you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Right. It depends on the context how you use it. but
Right.
The word can
So,
mean
like what
either
you
or.
said, the demonstration you just gave, yes, it was evil what happened to him because of his brothers throwing him down a hole, expecting to die, and then selling him, right?
Yeah, but they didn't know that was evil because their dad didn't tell them specifically.
Oh, now he's just being.
Now you're
just
just being a
kidding.
brat. They knew it was evil. They knew what they were doing.
I
Their
know.
intention was evil.
Yep.
Yeah, they
and
soaked
Adam
his-
knew
they-
what he was doing.
They soaked his robe in blood
They
to
s-
sell it.
They
Like,
had motivation.
Yeah.
I know, that's
They-
obvious
they
evil, guys. Come on.
That's
They
clearly evil.
they what do you call it? Premeditated the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they went along with their plan. So that was definitely evil.
Absolutely. I think everybody would agree with
And
that.
then just like what we talked about before on text message is that God turns that around. He turns all the evil stuff good for
He
those
could
who
take-
love him.
Yeah. He takes evil intentions,
Yes.
or what seems to be evil.
Right.
For all we know, that was Joseph had to go to Egypt, right? Because there was going to, at some point in the future, there's going to be a famine, and there needed to be somebody in Egypt that could distribute the food and that could set things up and make sure everything goes smooth, right?
Yes.
And so God knows who he wants to do that.
Mhm.
It's going to be Joseph.
Mhm.
Now, how do I get, let me just play God here for a minute. How do I get Joseph to Egypt? I could send an Uber, right? I mean, I could
a
just be like,
donkey.
look, we're just going to move you. Have this conversation on the way. Here's what needs to take place. Or I can use this event that will take you from here to there, and that will accomplish what I need accomplished.
Well, look what happened to Paul.
Yeah,
Remember, God wanted him to go to Rome, but he
Yes.
wanted to go to Jerusalem.
right.
How did he end up getting to Rome? Chained up.
Chained up.
Chained up.
Chained up.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
And what is learned? See, that's the fishy thing about this whole good and evil thing to me, because I look at all this. I look at all the circumstances in life and everything that you can come across and everything that can happen to you. And let's take morality out of it. It's not. Let's say not 10 Commandments. We're not violating God's laws. We're not doing it. We're just talking about circumstances of life,
Okay.
good or evil, and they're neither good nor evil until the outcome is reached.
I get that. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
The consequence.
The consequence. I mean, what did Joseph, for instance, since I brought him up for some reason,
Because you like his coat.
there was a period of, I don't know how many years passed. We know that there were 7 years of plenty and there were 7 years of famine, and that's when Jacob's sons came to Egypt to ask Joseph for food, and that's
Yeah.
when they learned that he was the brother that they sold and he was actually still alive. So that was at least, well, then he spent time in jail. So 20 years.
27 years or something
20
like that.
plus
Yeah,
years.
Yeah.
So he was there 20 plus years. What did Joseph learn? Like, we underestimate the impact that these circumstances have in our lives and how they're used to develop us as human beings. Joseph developed in a way he wouldn't have developed otherwise had he not gone through all those steps.
Right. Absolutely.
So, from all of that, I think it was a good training ground to learn how to repent. I mean, a good training ground for him to learn how to love. Because he never
Forgive.
stopped loving his dad and his brothers, even though they did all that evil to him.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Right.
That was good. Everything that happened, like, just think of it. Everything that happens to us, though it might seem like the trials that we go through are bad, it might feel bad, it might be horrible, but then the outcome is going to be what? Growth?
It's going to be growth.
It's going to be growth.
Yeah.
It's going to be, yeah.
There's
good.
an old
It's
saying
gonna
that
be good.
there is no growth without pain.
Mm-hmm.
There, you have to suffer pain in your life
Pain?
in order to grow and mature and develop.
Pain is God's megaphone. C.S. Lewis. I love that.
I was wondering when that was going to come
Yes.
full circle. That's
Full
awesome.
circle.
Pain is God's megaphone. Well, and it's, it's a great teacher. That's why I said, like last week when we were talking kind of off the record, what benefits were there to the fall? When they ate the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and their eyes were opened, and they became like God in knowing both good and evil, or good and bad. That was a problem, no question about it, and it had eternal consequences for for everybody. But do you learn love and forgiveness, and what do you have if you don't have if the only concept you have is not good and evil or good and bad? You can't have just a concept of good by itself, because good is only good in contrast to something that's not good.
See, and that's where I think they knew it was bad to eat the apple. Because we'll never be able to know, hey, what would have happened? What would life be like right now if they didn't ever eat the apple? What would their knowledge of good and evil be right now? But I'm just going to read this to you, and you tell me this conversation doesn't sound like she knows right and wrong, okay? Okay, so here, this is Eve talking to the serpent, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. So he's okay. I'm gonna go one verse before that to help you guys even.
Let's do a little context.
Let's go a little context.
Yes, context.
Okay, so her and the serpent are talking. The woman says to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the trees which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. Now, if I'm the serpent, and I think that she doesn't know what death is, I'm like, death is awesome. You don't even know what death is. What's death? Stupid little Eve. You dummy. You don't even know what death is. Why are you saying words that you don't even understand? Death? What's that? You're not going to eat it because God told you you're going to die, and you don't even know what die means? Huh?
We should have had this episode on death, since Jared seems to be
I
fixated on death.
Well, you guys are telling me she doesn't know what death is. Maybe she doesn't fully understand what death is, but
Maybe-
she knows that it's wrong.
No.
You're telling me?
You're just-
Hey, wait. God said, don't eat it. Wait.
She's repeating what God told them
right.
not to
Hey,
do.
and then he says, oh, you're not going to die.
No, you just changed.
He says you're not going to die.
No, earlier you changed though, because you said, oh no, death is bad. They knew they were doing bad or good
They knew,
based on
yes.
eating the fruit.
They knew it's bad.
No.
Maybe they don't
So
know
there's-
exactly how bad. Like if I tell you, hey,
All they knew is
if
that they
you
were surely
stick
going to die.
your arm under the car tire, it's going to hurt really bad, and you're probably going to lose your arm. Now, you don't know to what extent it's going to squish your arm and how it's going to fall off, but you're like, okay, yeah, don't stick my arm under the car tire because it's going to squish it. You know what I mean?
You're talking with knowledge that you have now.
Right. I'm talking
They
with knowledge.
didn't have any knowledge
Exactly.
of good
That's what I'm saying.
or evil.
They didn't have the knowledge of exactly what death was and what the turn and what the world was going to do, but they knew that it was bad.
What was bad?
That death was bad.
What's death?
What?
Yeah. See, you guys are acting.
You're just going.
No, see, you guys are acting stupid.
No,
Because
it's
you're
not
like, oh,
stupid.
what's death? But you're telling me, so you can read this and look at this and say, oh, the serpent said unto the worm, and you shall not surely die, and go, yep,
Worm?
she didn't know what death
Okay.
was.
She didn't.
Let me get. Okay.
All right, perfect. And then he says, for God doth know that in that day ye eat of it, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So he skirts the whole thing of death, goes away from it, says, hey, you're not going to die. Don't worry about it. God knows your eyes are going to be opened. That's all that's going to happen.
Okay.
So he takes away that worry of death and says, don't even, that's not even going to happen. He knows your eyes are going to be open. And you're telling me, oh, yeah, she didn't understand death. She didn't know what death was. We're going to sit here and go, what's death? What's death, Jared? What's death? And Eve, what's death? God says we'll die, but we don't even know what that means. This sign says no diving. What's diving? Let's go head first.
Wow. Are you okay? You having a seizure?
I'm not okay.
No, he's not okay. He's lost in the idea.
I
of
know.
death
lost
and
my
good.
mind.
So he's just switching up something else.
I'm not switching it.
No, he is.
Oh.
Satan is.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what you guys are.
But he,
Satan.
No.
But he
You
didn't.
guys are evil.
He
Satan's a
did not take away their worry because there was no worry.
You
Jared,
don't think
what's worry? Worry is of who?
of the devil?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he's
But
doing?
they didn't have any.
Isn't that what he's doing?
No, they didn't have any worry at the time because they had no knowledge of it.
That's you think that they had no knowledge of it.
When does it say that they did?
Right there. We can't eat that because we'll die.
Okay. Yeah.
Right there. She's got a knowledge.
What's-
We can't do that because we'll die.
Right. Because
So
God
there-
said
there it is.
No, because God said don't eat it or you'll die.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's the knowledge they have.
Did she know what death was?
She didn't say, I know what death is. It's when you cease to exist.
Because she
Our
didn't
spirits
know.
are going to go and we're going to live.
Let's
It's-
assume there was an implication
Because
that
she did not know.
Let's
so
assume.
you think there's no, this doesn't, yeah,
Hold
Jake,
on,
say
hold
what
on.
you're going to say.
Let's assume that there was an implication that she understood on some level that maybe just maybe, death meant not living anymore.
Yeah. Do you think
Okay,
she,
but
yes.
if you say, hey, Josh, if you do this, you're not going to live anymore. And if you don't have a concept of whether that's good or not, you might just go, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes that tree that makes the disobedience even easier. If I don't know that death is bad or death is good.
Right.
Because I go, if I don't know what death is, then this must be okay. Or let's assume if she did have some concept that death was bad, death was a cessation of whatever this conscious existence is, that she's now trading that for something she thinks is better. But even then, she's got to have a concept of good, and she
Because-
don't have that yet.
Well, look at this. She does have a concept as what is good because it says in 3:6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, oh crapola, this is good for food.
Well,
we can touch it.
She's merely acknowledging that it can be eaten, like
Oh,
everything else in
well,
the garden.
She's saying, yeah, oh, this is good for food.
It's good for food.
Yep, she says, oh, look at this. It is good for food. I thought it was bad for food. But when I was talking to my friend Josh and Jake, I was just a dumb idiot.
Okay, well, I see your point there. not the part where I'm a dumb idiot. Thank you. But
Not
it's,
you.
So she
Eve.
sees that the fruit is good to eat and good for making one wise.
So if she saw it was good, she must have thought that it was bad because God told her
So there's-
not to eat it.
So there's a concept of good and bad prior to eating the fruit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying this is what they knew was bad. They knew everything was good and that was bad.
But she just said it's good for food.
Exactly. She saw that it was good for food.
So what's
Right.
So
Then what's bad?
What's the sales
she
pitch?
thought that it was bad because God told her not to
No,
eat.
no, no.
She thought she shouldn't even touch it.
What's the sales pitch then? The sales pitch is, hey, Eve, come eat this fruit. You won't surely die, but you'll know what God knows, that which is good and that which is evil. And she could have just simply said, oh, I know that already. I know that this is a good to eat, and I know it's bad to die. So I know good and evil already. What are you trying to sell me?
But that's not what she said. I'm saying.
So she must have been aware of her ignorance as well, because
Well, because what I'm
it was
saying
good for making one wise.
is your question was, what was it like to live back then with no knowledge of good and evil? And I'm saying, well, the knowledge of good and evil was their only knowledge of good and bad, good and evil,
Was the tree.
was the tree. That not to do that. That was it. So that's all I'm saying, is that there was a knowledge of don't eat that, and that's it.
What did they gain after they ate it?
Then shame. They
Knowledge.
Understanding of everything, right? Knowledge of. Now they had to. Not only did they have the knowledge, now they had to judge between good and evil, make all those decisions,
then
what to do,
after
what not
they ate?
to do. After they ate, right? They had to, after they ate it, they had the knowledge of good. They had, well, you know what they
It
had.
went backwards, Jared.
No,
So-
I'm saying, like, I wasn't there, so I don't completely understand it, but I do understand that they knew it was bad
They
to
had
eat it.
some concept
They
of
had
good
some
and bad,
concept.
and they had some concept of death and life.
Yes. That's all I'm saying. What extent it was, I have no idea. I have no idea because I wasn't there. But I'm not going to stand here and say they didn't know what death was. They didn't know.
Now,
They had
I'm
no
okay
idea.
acknowledging that passage for sure does say that she saw that the tree was good to eat and good for making one wise. Or then there's the other part. Or is that just what Moses is illustrating that he thinks was going through her mind?
Well-
And he himself can't even comprehend life without good and bad.
I mean, it's hard for us to comprehend. And he says, and then the eyes of them both were opened, right? And they knew that they were naked. Okay? I'm saying.
Is
but
naked bad?
not for me and my wife, but for you and my wife, absolutely. So, listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, because it makes it easier for me when I try to just picture my kids, because God always uses examples
There is an
from our
age.
life, right?
There is an age by which you come into that knowledge.
I'm
right?
telling you, Enzi, she's naked all the time. She loves Ben. She's not thinking, I want to have sex with Ben, right?
Right.
And I'm thinking, you know what? Look at Adam and Eve. They're like just here. They're just out of the box, basically. They're not, obviously, if it was me, the first thing I'd think of when I saw my naked wife is, oh, it's time to get down, right? They don't do that because we know that they don't have any children till after they get kicked out of the garden,
Which
right?
is like tomorrow or something.
But still, it wouldn't have taken me that long,
Dude,
to get to that point.
It wouldn't have taken me.
Right? I mean, after your
Let's
wedding, it's hours.
Well,
it's
let's-
hours after the wedding.
Yeah, let's assume this is like early. Let's assume this is a literal 6-day,
And I'm-
24-hour period.
I'm saying you look
Yeah.
you look at a child, because a child like, okay, Enzi, bam, she's not thinking about that. She's no more near that. You know what? These people, they had no knowledge of their nakedness, and then all of a sudden they have a knowledge. Their eyes are opened up to it. They get kicked out of the garden, and then Adam's like, "Hey, wow, now I see Eve. Let's go.
Let's
take off
multiply.
You
these,
think that's
yeah.
that? So
Let's go take off these fig leaves."
Dude, he's hitting that before they get kicked out. No.
I'm saying it probably wasn't even a
Probably.
concern. I'm saying
I'm thinking so.
I'm
They
saying-
just didn't have any kids.
What was the issue? What do you think?
I'm saying they're new. They're exploring. I
Okay.
don't know, but my thought is they're new. They've just, like I said, out of the box. They're not thinking about. They're thinking, let's explore. We're best friends. Let's get to know each other. Blah. You know what I mean? They're not.
They were just married, bro.
There wasn't. Yeah, but
What happens
again,
after marriage?
I don't know.
You got to seal the deal.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would have for sure sealed the deal. We see that they don't have any kids till after they get kicked out of the garden.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to
I
just
don't know.
knock out a kid like.
Well, look.
I mean-
Why is she alone with the serpent? What's that? You know what I mean? They're not even together.
Neglect. That's
Yeah.
that's
neglect.
husband neglect because he's supposed
He's
to,
already neglecting her.
he's supposed to follow her around everywhere and watch her, like some kind of
Watcher.
some kind of weirdo. Hey, babe, where you going? Some kind of insecure kind of codependent little fool. He's like, hey, babe, where you going now? You mad at me? Or where you going? You mad at me? You still mad at me? Hey, we're naked. No, they don't know they're naked. So now let me ask you this.
Yes.
So they eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Okay.
Which we can kind of settle in on that.
Okay.
That at least for sure they knew concepts of what is good and what is bad after they eat.
Okay.
Is naked bad? Are they
They were
considering naked
ashamed.
bad
They hid themselves. They said we were naked and we were ashamed
After.
or afraid?
and afraid. It says, I heard thy voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself.
Okay, that's after they ate, right?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
after.
And then he says, who told ye that you were naked?
I love how God
Hast
speaks
thou
in Old
eaten
English.
of the tree? And he says, I commanded thee that you should not eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If
I agree.
God, if God
Agree.
said,
I agree. It's
again,
in there. I agree.
think,
So
hey,
what-
for him to say, I commanded you not to eat
So
that.
their first knowledge
That there
of-
was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. We screwed up. We knew it was bad.
Yeah, after they ate.
But now our eyes are open. But right after they ate. But hey, I commanded you not to do that. Oh, we didn't understand command and bad and good and blah blah blah. I think they understood that it was bad. I'm stuck on that.
Yeah, obviously. All right, look, I'll concede, just for the sake of moving
Yeah.
the conversation along, that they had some concept of what was good and what was bad prior to eating the fruit.
Maybe not death, though.
Now I think they probably had some concept of death before they ate the fruit.
Thank you, Jake. Welcome.
But we're talking about two different things. You're talking about the concepts of good and evil, and I'm talking about the concept of eternal life and expiration dates.
Okay.
So which are two different podcasts.
Right.
We're so off the.
Okay,
So
all right.
So they eat the
Let's
fruit.
save that for our next day.
So they eat the fruit.
For our
Boom.
next time.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, all right. So how soon after I eat of the fruit do I realize I'm not wearing clothes?
I think immediately is what it says.
Yes. It
Oh,
says
well, as soon as
it's
they heard
immediately.
God
It
walking
says-
in the cool of the day.
Well, no, it says, and then their eyes were opened.
their eyes were
and
open.
they knew they were naked.
But
and they-
I wonder the same as you because
Interesting.
Eve ate it and then said, "Hey, come here and eat this." Was Eve's eyes not opened right at that moment that Adam could come and she could say, "Hey, Adam, eat this."
No, she knew. If you want to speculate,
Yeah, let's speculate, bro.
if you want to speculate, I think her eyes were opened right away, and she knew, where Adam was ashamed, like, oh my gosh, I'm naked. I'm vulnerable. Maybe it goes to vulnerability. Maybe it goes to, if you know the concept of good and bad, you're going, okay, well, this is bad. You could, jab me with a spear and I would die. That's a problem. And I don't have anything to protect myself. So that's that. But from Eve's standpoint, maybe she knew she was naked. And she was like, hey,
Oh yeah.
how do I use this? Hey, big boy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Hey, psst. Hey, Adam. That's the first scene where she gets that look in her eye and you're going to the bedroom. That's, hey. Hey, sweetie. What's up, honey? Look what I ate. And it opened my eyes. And he's like, okay. And you should take a bite. Okay. Okay. And then you take a bite, and oh no, we're naked. And they were afraid. So fear, vulnerability, all these things come with that knowledge of what is good and what is bad. And when you can't understand the two, like there's a lot of things that are perceived to be bad in life that are actually very good. Wheatgrass. Wheatgrass. Look,
Oh man.
I took a shot
Oh
of
my
Of what?
I took a shot with my 17-year-old daughter.
Oh my
She
god.
just turned 17. Me and her, because we're tight. I was like, look, you do a shot, I'll do a shot.
Of wheatgrass.
No, of apple cider vinegar.
That is gross.
Because it's supposed to be good for you. And she's getting a cold, and we're heading out on vacation. She doesn't want to be sick on vacation. So she's very astute like that. So I go, look, if you drink it, I'll drink it. Not good.
This stuff is nasty.
It
tastes
is.
Like throw up.
It's not good, but it's good for you. Right? So it's like wheatgrass. Dude, I knew this chick.
So you're saying it tastes evil?
No, it tastes.
But it's good.
No, it tastes bad.
Yeah, evil.
No, it doesn't taste evil.
Yeah, evil
Evil's
bad.
a
How does
moral.
evil taste?
Like apple cider vinegar.
Like vindication. Finish him.
I'm teaching you guys how to use the word evil in a natural sense and a moral sense. Okay,
That's not. That
all
doesn't
I'm
make
doing.
sense. It doesn't make sense though.
Yeah, it tasted evil. Tasted bad, bro.
What does evil taste like, Jared?
It bad, like apple cider vinegar. I just
Okay,
told
bad.
you.
All right, bad. It tastes bad.
What makes, let's see, giving food to the poor good, bad?
It matters if they're gonna throw that food back in your face.
Oh, all right.
Generally,
We don't do anything.
It's good. Okay.
All right, it's good.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
well, if you're gonna name obvious,
Are we back on the
things-
plane? On the game?
No, that game's over.
Oh, okay. 'cause
But
you
I'm
just
trying to
asked
get back
another
on the
question.
concept of
good,
Good and evil.
what in life can you look at that's neutral,
Speeding.
Neutral.
like neutral,
I-
like it's
I'm
neither good nor
speeding
bad.
down the highway, okay? Because it's the flow of traffic. All the cars are going 80. If I go 65, the speed limit, I'm going to impede traffic. The
I don't
law
care.
says go 80, or I'm sorry, the law says go 65, but everybody else is going 80. To be safe, I need to go 80. Now,
Or
if
just drive on the slow lane.
If everybody, even in the slow lane, they're going 80. Now,
Nope,
if
not me.
everybody's going 65 and I'm going 80, now I'm being evil, right? Because I could cause an accident.
Well, let me ask you this: you're going the flow of traffic. Everybody's doing 80. Cop pulls you over.
Yeah, he's a jerk. That's evil. The
You
cop's
just-
evil.
Do you deserve the ticket?
No. I mean, the law says,
You were breaking the law.
but I was going the flow of traffic. So
Doesn't matter. He's going with the law.
I'm going to say, legally, yes, he can give me a ticket. Is it right for him? He's a jerk.
It's his job.
It's his job.
Yes.
It's his job.
That is his job.
That is literally his
And
job.
if everybody's going 80, let's say there's 100 cars on the freeway and I'm in the middle, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's going 80 and I'm going 80 and he pulls me over and gives me a ticket, he's a jerk. And
Now,
you
guess
guys are
who they
jerks.
actually go after?
They
The
go-
one who starts slowing down.
Yeah, they go after that, and they go after the trucks with the homemade ladder racks on them.
Yes.
And you're busted, sir. You're busted with your homemade ladder rack, which is awesome. And so, look, but that's... I think when you look at it from just a holistic kind of spiritual view of things, other than morality, right? Don't kill each other. Don't want what other people have.
Don't steal.
Don't steal.
We're talking 10 commandments here.
Yeah, 10 Commandments. Like if you had just the 10 Commandments, morality, those right breaking those is bad.
Well,
So he says,
it
don't kill
depends.
people. So then you say, well, if I kill somebody, that's wicked. That's evil, right? So I'm not talking about moral good and evil.
You mean murder?
Yeah, murder. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, murder to be defined better
Right.
as murder. But I'm not talking about morality. I'm talking about in everyday life when you just look at your life.
Mm-hmm.
Good circumstances, bad circumstances, if you can wrap your mind around the idea that there is nothing particularly good nor particularly bad about the situations that happen in your life,
Mm-hmm.
that's that sweet spot, man.
So if I get sick, it's bad.
No.
But then I don't have to go to work.
depends.
So it's good.
No, so you just don't
Right.
think about it.
So you just so
You're
you live
talking
in that
about-
you live in that sweet spot of, hey, this has a purpose.
Well, that's what, for me, living under the grace of God, right, where we've been covered by the blood of Jesus, we know we're forgiven, and for the most part, I can just live my life, driving the flow of traffic.
So I just pictured you covered in blood like
No.
Carrie. Just go
Not worrying about because for the most
running
part,
down the street, just covered in blood, going, "I love Jesus. Don't you want to come too?"
right? Like for the most part, I'm not worried. Like, oh, if what I'm doing good or evil, because I'm going to work. I'm doing what I gotta do at work. I gotta follow the guidelines so I can meet codes.
You ever get frustrated at work?
I'm sure not often, but I mean.
You're a better man than I am then, because I get frustrated at work a lot.
Not much, because it's so
do
easy. Like,
I.
Tell me, what's there to get frustrated at?
You tell me.
Because everything's fixable. Even when you think it's not, it's like, okay, we deal with this. Okay, this is how you deal with it. You do it. You know what I mean? You have, no matter what, you have to work. There's different types of work. Sometimes it's in the field. Sometimes it's paperwork. Sometimes it's clients. And you're like, oh, okay, this is frustrating.
That's why I love
client.
Jared. Jared looks at the bright side of everything. He will tell you what's good.
Because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no
And
matter
that's who
what,
Jared is.
it's 8 hours or
I
12
love that
hours
guy.
or 16 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's part of the work. And then what I love about it, because I've had clients that called me crying and unreasonable about things they don't understand. And you think, well, this is awesome. In a couple months, this job will be over and I'll never have to deal with her again. You know? Now,
Frustration.
Yeah.
you know, if I decided to marry this lady, you know, I'd shoot myself. But because she's a client and this is going to end, you know, there's a bright
You're already
side.
married, Jared.
Yeah, I'm already married. So just knowing that, hey, this is the work, this is what you do, this is how we fix it. Because everything, like I said, this is how you fix it. Nothing's unfixable. You
What
just
do
move forward. You move with the flow.
Where's your head go, Josh?
With what?
Just with things that go wrong at work.
Anxiety?
Like work seems to be like that common place where we can all meet in our minds and go, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Right.
Okay.
So it's good, bad.
It depends. At my previous jobs, we've always had staff meetings. Okay? So you could get to know what the other person are thinking. So you can start getting, you do this, you do that. And then the next day you have another staff meeting. All right, you could do this part, you could do that. Like, so you're having communication so you guys can know what you're doing. But let's just say if someone just steps out of bounds and starts doing something else that wasn't supposed to be done, that is frustrating.
Yeah.
Or let's just say that you have your whole plan down and then all of a sudden people are just standing around and talking and not doing anything at all while you're working your butt off.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Frustrating.
And then, you end up being the bad guy because you're the one who starts, saying stuff to the boss, and then you're the bad guy because you're telling on me. Frustrating.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I lean more on that side. I want to lean more on Jared's side.
I would love to lean on
Yeah,
Jared's side, but that's why I said I love the way Jared is
Right.
because he looks at the bright side of everything.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person because of the way I grew up or whatever.
Yeah. However, the wires are crossed.
However the wires are crossed. But I would love to do that. Yes, I can have peace. Yes, I have shared peace and prayed for people and do all these other things. There's sometimes, I don't know. I have
Yeah.
a switch in my head that can just switch on and off, and it's either I get very anxious and just want to crawl in the hole,
Yeah.
or I just want to blow up,
Right.
which never happens. The Lord won't allow me to do that. Or it's saying, all right, I'm going to forgive them even though they feel like they did nothing wrong, and I'm just going to be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm the one who's bad.
Right. Well, I think, like as in my business and talking about clients, and some clients are, some clients can be high
Evil.
maintenance. Some clients can just not do what they're supposed to do. They put up they're just putting up a struggle. They don't understand certain things. It's nice to be able to say, oh yeah, you're definitely on some level. All right, I'm going to bear with you, help you understand this a little better. With employees, I have this thing with employees where I'll put you through like some pretty good training, right? Myself, like I'll draw it up on the board. We'll go through the book. We'll go through policies and procedures and the whole 9 yards. I'm going to tell you exactly how I need things set up. You're going to agree to those terms and to those standards, and then you're gonna go to work, and we're gonna train you, make sure that you can do that properly, and to everybody's satisfaction. That way, because I would rather be a coach to my employees. So I have this. So picture like a horizontal line, and then down the middle of that line, there's a vertical line. On the left side of that line are people who are not doing their who aren't meeting the line. The line is the standard, right? Like, hit the standard, whatever standard we've agreed to. Hit that standard right there, and everything's great, because then I can coach you to wherever you want to go later, right? You're excelling here. I want to get you to wherever you want to be in your career, in your life, wherever you want to go. I'm going to help you. You fall to the left side of that line. You're not hitting your standard. Now I have to manage you. Now I have to see if you're making your phone calls. Now I have to track and listen to the phone calls. Now I have to look at your activity online. Now I have to do all these things I don't want to do. I don't like being that guy. And then when I call it out, I'm kind of Jared up until the point where they give me an excuse. And then I just don't know how to handle it. Like
That's the beauty of being your own boss.
Well, that's what I love, the excuses. They crack me up.
See,
Like,
he looks
let's
at the
just-
bright side of
Like,
everything, man.
What's your excuse? Oh, okay, that's awesome. Because I know, okay, well, I'm either looking for somebody new, and in a couple weeks you're going to be gone. Or whatever. Or, we fix you if you want to be better, if you want to move up in the company.
Yeah.
It's just like with clients. If I have a client that's mad, then that's the relationship we have. They're mad. I'm not working to try to make them, like, as a Christian, yeah, I'll do what I can to make them happy, but I'm not going out of my way. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way and put off a client that's happy with me to try to make a client who's not happy with me.
Unless they're mad at you for something that's your fault. I mean, if you did something
yeah,
stupid and they're
usually-
mad at you, then
Right.
you're like, I'm going to make you happy.
Yeah, for the most
My
part, they're
bad.
just mad at, because they think they're the only person in the world.
Yeah.
That type mad, then it's like, hey, that's the relationship we have. I'm just going to keep you mad until
Right.
we're done, because I'm not going to risk making a good client mad to try to compensate for this client over here. It's like, hey, we're going to stay mad the whole time. That's the relationship we
The
have.
whole time?
I'm good with it. And you're happy. We'll stay happy the whole time. I'm good with that. We're not going to switch relationship. And at the end, if the mad people become happy, great. But I really don't care. That's our relationship.
I mean, in the end, with all that I
I
said,
had no idea where this was going. I had
Me
a point.
either.
I had a point. There's a point.
You're going to have to bring it back.
I am a quiet person,
Yeah.
right? I am a very quiet person, especially at work when I'm concentrating and I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I'm very quiet because I like to get my work done. And then, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, I mean, is it? So I mean, like,
Is that bad? I mean,
Right,
if you
that's a
look
good
at me
question,
and
good question.
I'm working really hard, you see me working, and I'm just not, and I'm very concentrated, and I'm getting all my work done. Does that look bad?
If you can't
No,
acknowledge that I'm walking by and say hi.
I'm not going to
You
say
don't-
hi.
You don't have to
But-
stop working.
No.
But just a friendly environment helps.
No,
Just a little friend.
I only accomplish things to the best of my ability when I can concentrate on those things.
Me too.
Right? So I go, here's plan A today. I need to accomplish. I have 4 or 5 things every day that I need to get done to further my business, to grow it, to do whatever. So I go, okay, I'm going to concentrate on number 1 until it's done. Then number 2 until it's done. Number 3, and so on. And there's no such thing as multitasking. If you didn't tell me that you can do more than one thing at a time, I call foul. That's a lie.
No.
Yeah, just no way you're accomplishing.
I'm just saying, if
Right,
it's
but-
the first time you've seen me all day,
But when
you
I'm-
look up, say hi. You don't have to say hi to me after that.
If I look up from where I'm concentrating and I go, "Hey Jared," and you go, "Hey Jake," and that's cool.
That's it.
But if I'm concentrating on my thing, man, where I'm just like I'm tearing stuff apart. I'm figuring out how to get this Yelp Gestapo people to stop breaking my thumbs to get more money out of me or whatever it is. Yeah, I said Yelp right there. Bunch of criminals. All right. If I'm concentrating on that, and then you come up and be like, "Oh, hey, yo, what's up? Let's talk." And you sit down on my desk, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on right now?"
Totally understand that.
because I know as I become more self-aware, I realize that I know that if I get distracted from this task will never get done.
Yep.
I have 27 other squirrels that run past my desk, and I got to chase them all at some point today. And if I start chasing things before this one's done, nothing's getting done. Next thing you know, I got a half a dozen tweaker projects laying around the garage. I got stereos torn apart, and I got internets I'm trying to make faster.
Listen, that's where you just got to be able to say, hey, man, I can't work and talk, so it's good seeing you. Talk to you later.
Well,
And if you can't work and talk, don't talk.
I own the place. I just close the door. Just close the door. I go, hey, don't anybody touch the thermostat, and I close the door. But is that good?
I think
That
it's...
let's say I can't concentrate on more than one thing at a time. I don't want to. Is that good or is that bad?
It just depends. Like I said, it depends on how you treat the person. You treat them like a person, say, hey, sorry, busy, can't work and talk. I'll talk to you later, man. Good seeing you. Boom. And then he knows. But if him knowing that continually bothers you throughout the day, then of course you're going to get frustrated because of who you are. And things could escalate. But the guy, he's not helping you out. You've told him, you've given him your boundaries. He's not respected your boundaries. Now you get to lash out at him however you guys want. Go for it.
so not true.
Oh,
we got off. All right, so let's see. There it is. So let's wrap this up. Good and bad. If we can somehow figure out how to
Get back to the
can
topic.
we make sense? Let's take a few minutes and try to make. Because to me, it still seems like it's moral. They're always moral. Like if somebody says, "Hey, Josh, don't say that. That's bad." And I go, "Says who?"
Mm-hmm.
Right. So who decides what's good and bad?
Who decides what is good and bad? And if they say, "Hey, that's bad," are they saying that's moral bad, or are they saying it's?
Well, what did you say?
Doesn't
It's not good to hear.
Yeah. So
it's not good to hear. Maybe right? Hey, cocaine,
Like.
and then you're like,
Dude, that's so evil.
that's evil, right? I don't know.
No,
if it is.
listen. This is one with kids. If I go, hey, that's stupid, the kids go, hey, don't say that. That's bad. And I go, no, it's not bad because that right there, what I'm looking at,
That is objectively stupid.
exactly. But they've been taught by their parents
Sure.
that stupid is a bad word.
Right.
Right? They haven't been taught how to use it. Instead of saying, well, honey, this is how you use stupid and this is how you don't. Because they're
I
too
see.
young to understand it. And so now they've been raised with it. So now you got 5-year-olds telling you what's right and
I see.
wrong to say.
Yeah.
But that's only, like I said, because that's what they were taught. So we'd have to go to, for us, I'd have to go to the Bible and say, well, if you can tell me biblically that saying stupid is wrong, then I'll stop saying it.
Right.
The word stupid is in the Bible.
There you go. So I'm not going to stop.
It is.
But if you don't have the Bible as your foundation, then you're going to use whatever you morally decide.
Whatever you brought up.
Whatever you're brought up with, whatever your traditions are.
So it's going to be relative. It's going to be, it hurts. So culturally, it hurts my feelings. Therefore, it's wrong.
Yeah. If you go to work and you work for the government, the city, the state, whatever, they send you to meetings on how to deal with clients and employees and
Yes.
whatnot, and it's all about other people's feelings.
It is. It totally is. Especially those harassment type of classes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Oh, it's all on the person. It's how the person
perception.
feels.
Yeah.
The perception of how that person feels.
Yeah.
And what happened, how
That's
they were
the
touched.
truth of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
If I tell you Merry Christmas, but you're the wrong person, then I could offend you. And
The wrong person meaning
a person
an evil
does not-
person?
a person that does not celebrate Christmas, right?
where
Oh, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
I say
If Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate Christmas, right?
Right.
So if I say Merry Christmas to a Jehovah's Witness, I used to work with a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
If I said Merry Christmas to them, they didn't say it back.
no, they didn't say it back, but they weren't offended.
Right. They don't get
They
offended
didn't call
at
you
that.
evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? They were like, hey, Jared's evil. He said Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and it wasn't like if I knew that they were Jehovah's Witness, I wouldn't go.
They're all sitting
I wouldn't
around
go say, "Oh,
lunch.
hey, Merry Christmas. You know, I would find out people were by saying, "Oh, Merry Christmas." Oh, okay. The lack of response.
Yeah, and if they're all sitting around, they're all mad at you, not celebrating birthdays or Christmas, and not believing in hell and stuff. And that's like, oh, we're gonna get that job. Jared's telling us that he does Merry Christmas. Who does he think we are?
So culturally, good and bad could be relative.
That's how it seems right now.
Yes, right now.
That there's a relative morality
Right.
or relative good and bad.
Well,
That's how I feel.
Exactly. So
But who wins that? Like, if you're offended by what I say, and
That's-
you're and I'm offended by what you say,
that's what I'm.
that's what relativity is.
It can't win. It's an unwinning argument. Like you look at the things that are happening today or in the past, right? You look at, oh, okay, we're gonna have a women's rights movement. We're gonna hey, our body, our right. Wait, and then at the same time we're gonna say there's no such thing as gender. Okay, we're gonna have a rally. There's no gender, and we're gonna have a rally. My body, my rights for women. And then you're like, wait. What's the? There's no gender or women's rights. What
well,
are
let's
we?
do,
And
well,
then
let's do that one. Let's do the woman's body thing. You had something you wanted to say though.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say let's take the woman's right things where it's all right. So obviously everybody who listens to this knows where we stand on abortion, right? I mean, and I think if I'm being honest, science stands with us also. So whatever, ignore the science if you want to. If you want to hate science, hate science. I don't care. That's up to you. But if we say that a woman, it is right or it is good that a woman has a right over her own body and that she can eliminate that baby or that pregnancy anytime she wants, because that's some of them are arguing, that she can eliminate that baby all the way up to 9 months if she wants to. You can
To
do
birth.
We're saying you can make that decision because that's what feels right to you and it's your body and it should be good that you have the right over your own body, but I object that you can sell your body for sex.
right. So it's wrong for you to sell your body for sex, but it's okay for you to have an abortion.
Right.
Right.
That is horrible.
It's so weird.
That's evil.
That's weird.
That's evil.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
They're both- they're
confusing.
both-
That is straight up
With-
evil.
Without a moral foundation, then it's just confusing.
Right.
Hey, no, you can't sell your sex. What? Why? Why can't I sell my body
It's
for
my
sex?
body.
Yeah, it's my body, my right. Well, no, you can use that to get an abortion, but you can't use that for selling your body. Okay? And you can't kill yourself either.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why relativity is so twisted. Because what's right for you isn't what's right for me.
It breeds hypocrisy. throughout.
It totally, just like exactly what Jared was saying.
Yeah.
Just like all of that. It's insane.
Yeah, it's
It's crazy. It's confusing, but
Yeah.
praise the Lord that we have a
Objectivity.
foundation.
We have objectivity.
Yes, we have a moral lawgiver, and he gives us what's right and what's wrong. We have eternity built into our hearts.
Yeah.
Now, listen
We
to-
have a conscience that tells us what's good and what's bad.
Yep.
But and listen to this, Kate, because our eyes are open to the truth, right? And there's people that like this makes sense to us that it's confusing, but there's some
Yeah.
people that look at it and go, "No."
And they go, "Why are you confused?"
You guys are closed-minded.
Close-minded.
You guys are jerks. You
Yeah.
guys are whatever, and it's not confusing to them. Even though it should be, it's confusing to me that it's not confusing to them. But God says, "Hey, there's a scale over their eyes that seeing they do not see and hearing they do not hear."
No, but I don't think
right?
the scale. But I don't think the scale applies to moral truths like that.
You don't think so? Because
No, I think it means it's like,
they-
okay, you don't see that
what-
Christ is the Savior. Okay, we get that. There's scales over your eyes. You're not prepared to, or you're not ready to see it, or whatever the case is. But I don't think if you sat somebody down that was pro female, man, pro abortion, kill the baby whenever you want, which they wouldn't say kill the baby because they're pro.
Terminate.
Right, terminate. If you want to terminate your pregnancy, right, they leave the baby out. They go, if you want to terminate your pregnancy whenever you want, that's up to you. You sit that lady down right there and you go, okay, so we're good with this. We can just terminate the pregnancy at 9 months and we're good, no problems, right? And she says, yeah, no problems. So what about a woman selling her body for sex? Is that a problem? Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Why? And then and then the answers are messed up. Or better yet, this abortion doctor last week in the news that now collected 2,000 skeletons of babies that he helped abort.
Yeah.
Over
What else is he gonna collect?
over a career, and everybody is outraged about it. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. Why is the work that he did his whole life, quote unquote, good, but him collecting the bodies is bad?
Yeah, he can't keep his work.
I mean,
It's hypocrisy, like he said.
straight up hypocrisy.
That's exactly what it is.
Like he kept the skeletons. What do you care?
Yeah, because you said they weren't anything anyway.
You placed no value on them at
They
all.
were just cells.
They were terminated pregnancies.
Right.
It was a blob of cells.
Just a blob. Right? So it's just a blob, which he collected, and everybody's outraged about it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. You're like, what are you talking about?
Horrible.
Why is collecting
That is evil.
why is keeping the bodies more egregious than taking the life?
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
That's insane.
We did not nearly get to where we thought we were going to get.
That's why there are moral absolutes.
There's absolutes,
Absolutes.
which are
Murder.
don't murder.
Don't murder.
Don't murder each other.
There's self-defense, or is
That's
that,
killing.
That's
Oh, that's killing.
yeah.
Okay. So
Yes. Murder is
It's like
when
righteous
I
war
like
theory.
hate.
grab a knife and stab you in the heart, rip it out because I hate you.
Well,
Show
murder
me.
is that laying in wait.
Yes.
I'm gonna sit in the shadows till
Gotcha.
Jared gets home with his makeshift ladder rack,
Okay.
and I'm
Dude,
gonna.
I think he wants to murder
So
you,
we're not
bro.
talking. We're not talking manslaughter. We're not talking war. We're not.
Manslaughter's
talking,
different. I
Yeah,
mean,
so you're talking-
unless you left the scene.
if it's an accident.
If it's
yeah.
an accident and you stood,
Uh-huh.
then you're gonna get your justice, right? In your heart, you didn't hate that person. It was an accident.
Yeah.
But if you hit that person, run them over, and then leave,
Well, if you're
or
scared,
back up over him,
or back,
Hey, you're 16 years old. You just got your driver's license. You're driving down the street.
you're texting.
You're texting. You hit someone. You kill him. You freak out. You get scared, and you drive home. And you're like, "What? What do I do?"
How old is the person they hit?
16 as well. They're both 16.
Oh yeah.
okay.
He had his whole life ahead of him. He was much
Yeah.
more valuable
Both
than.
16.
Let me tell you something.
then-
to that scenario,
but then-
real life story.
Oh, real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love my brother,
Uh-oh.
and sorry if it, hopefully I don't offend him at this, but if he ever listens to it, one morning while he was driving me to school, and the sun was in our face, and he was driving, and it was also fogged up, and so he kept going, and he hit somebody. Happened right in front of me. Happened on my side. Saw the head hit the side rear view mirror, and he freaked out, and he fled the scene. And I was freaked out because it happened just right there, right in front of me. He didn't know what happened until we looked back, and there was an old lady on the floor.
Oh man.
And so he freaked out. We left. We found a little alleyway, and he's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And then he ended up turning himself in.
Okay.
So, bad thing happened, but it was good that he turned himself in.
Yeah, because objectively, that is a bad thing,
Yes.
right? You can say a lot like people do today, in various situations where they would hit the old lady with the mirror and then go, "Oh well, the sun was in my eyes,"
Right.
and then they go about their day
Mm-hmm.
as if they have no responsibility to the situation at all.
Now that is evil.
That's evil.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's evil based on your moral foundation, or
Yeah.
it's based on cultural.
Moral.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Moral.
Yeah,
Because cultural is relative.
Gotcha.
Moral is absolute.
So now, do you think? Do we need to convince people to follow a moral or cultural standard?
We can't
Well,
convince them. That's the
can't.
Holy Spirit's job.
Right.
That's definitely the Holy Spirit's job because culturally, everybody's living upon what the culture says.
Mm-hmm.
Politics is right.
yeah, cultures evolve.
Kings are right. Right? Presidents are right.
Yeah.
We have a moral lawgiver that gives us moral absolutes, and people don't want to live by that because then, I'm a sinner. And I need
Yeah.
a savior.
Right. With
Yeah.
knowing good and evil comes a responsibility of discerning, judging between good and evil.
Yes.
Which we've proven is very difficult for human beings to do. It's partially why God didn't want us to have that ability in the first place.
Right.
Just don't eat that fruit. He knows that once we eat it, we can't handle it. And then, they spent the next, dozen generations or whatever it was, descending into darkness. Well, that's our culture too. So is good then defined? And we'll wrap this up in a minute, but is good or bad then decided or defined by cultural evolution? Because cultures evolve, right? I mean, you're not going to stop them from evolving. That's what they do.
That's how the world functions right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is the masses agree, or at least a very loud minority of people agree that something is right or something is wrong, and we go along with that.
And it's definitely, because you go to another country, and how they deal with a criminal is way different than how we deal with a criminal.
Yeah. But outrage culture is a lot like that, isn't it? I mean, it's like the outrage culture that we live in now is like if I say Bruce Jenner, right? There's a community of people right now possibly listening to this that just freaked out a little because I dead named somebody.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right. It's like he is not Bruce Jenner anymore. He's Caitlyn Jenner.
Ah.
Right? And so they go, so there's a whole community of people right now that would put up pictures of me on the internet and then go, you shouldn't listen to Go podcast because
He's a homophobe.
These guys are homophobic. They're going to throw all kinds of stuff at it as if they know me. Bite me, right? It's you don't know me. All right. So anyway, but they're going to do that. That's that outrage. They go, you violated. For all those listening that might say, oh, you and your 10 commandments and your little objective laws and stuff. Well, look, we violated some cultural law that says you're not allowed to dead name somebody. Somebody came up with the law. Who came up with it? And then when you violate that law, they want your head. They don't want you to have a career anymore. They don't want you to ever be seen again. They think you should be fired from your job if you work in media.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the exact same thing they accused Christians of doing 20 years ago.
Totally. Hypocrite.
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 Bless you. All right. So, I suppose, to wrap this up, there is, beside moral differences of good and evil, that is being don't murder, don't covet, don't do all those. Maybe we'll do a series in the future of some of these things to try to bring some life back into them so that people don't, because they're not old concepts. I mean, as an example, if you walk around and all you do is want stuff that other people have, I want whatever those Jenner ladies, who are those Kardashians? Like if I watch
Jenner ladies.
whatever, if I watch the Kardashians all day and all I want is that lifestyle, I want that house, I want those cars, I want those boobs, whatever it is. I said it. I don't want those boobs, but
Oh, I thought I said boots.
could you imagine me having
Jared.
implants? I'm gonna break out some.
I'm trying not to imagine it, but I actually.
Are you?
I did imagine it.
Now
when
that you
said it.
imagined it, what do you think, huh?
Well, it was evil.
All right. but there's like the spirit of coveting that's just like nothing's good enough. I want something else. We can add light to that later, but that's like everyday stuff, man. You have a better life if you don't do that.
That is everyday stuff.
Yeah, so it's like you have like these objective moral things besides the objective moral behaviors. I think it's important to point out that anything that's not objectively morally good or evil is just life.
Life?
It's not good or evil. You had a bad day? All right. So some dude came and spit in your Cheerios? All right.
Well, I had a good day.
Right? Well, what's it,
Someone ate the spit for me.
Nice. Nice. Jared came along and said, hey, I needed the antibodies. I'll save you. But that's, if you can adjust your minds, if we can adjust our minds to thinking that there is nothing particularly bad about an employee, for instance, that doesn't do their job. It is what it is. You didn't do your job. That's fine. Maybe you don't like your job.
Well, it's not like
No, it's fine.
it's not fine.
It's completely fine because you're going to be gone in a week.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to, like what you
can
said.
deal with it, but
No,
he's
it's-
still a bad employee.
But if you can, in your mind, not think of it good or bad and just be like, okay,
Well, you'd be like
it's
you,
objective.
You take a
and-
note of it. You take a note. Okay, he's
Yeah.
a bad employee. It's time to
Noted.
do something about him. Noted.
Noted. No,
Yeah.
no point in being exercised about it. No point in being irritated or mad about it.
Right. Don't let it ruin your day.
You
Guy's
go-
a bad employee. He's always going to be a bad employee. You talk to him, tell him what he can do to improve. He's still a bad employee. Hey,
Replace him.
Replace him.
Goodbye.
Or you say, you know what? He's a bad employee, but he's the best of what I've had in the past. I know how he works. I know how to use this bad for my good, like what Jesus does with us. Okay, I'll just continue to use him. He's not really going to go very far, but I know how to deal with his bad for my good.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, too.
Yeah, really good
That's
point.
what God does with us, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what God
He
does with us.
recycles us.
Yeah, he recycles us. So if you're sitting around listening to this podcast, you've stumbled across it somehow by sheer divine providence, because that's what it would be if you found us. And you just had it with life. Nothing in your life is going quote unquote right. Nothing there is quote unquote good. And you can't wait to clock out. For some reason, I got you on my mind. And if you can just push through, and if you can just see another day, and then another day and another day, the clouds will part. You'll come out of it much better person than you are now. And you'll be glad that you didn't take that step you're thinking about taking, which is ending your life. So, boom. Try ending a podcast on a lower note than that, son.
Well,
Amen.
I'd have to say, yeah, if you're at that place, definitely email Jake at
Goatcast.
goatcast.com.
Jake at goatcast.com.
And if you'd like to ask either Josh or me a question, just ask it on that as well. And
Yep.
we'd love to talk to you. If you're out there feeling like that, we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to share with you the glory that we have in us.
Pray for you.
Yep.
Love on you.
All that. No judgments. No judgments, no problems.
No.
Because that's a big issue. Good, bad, and evil.
Some people can't stop thinking of everything that happens in their life as bad.
It's bad. Right. I know. I know some of those
it's
people.
dark, man.
Yeah.
It's dark. I've been there. Been there, done that. So, look, if that's you, then look, there's a way out other than ending your life. It's a beautiful life that we live. It's not always pretty, but it is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Hey, and there's one way out of this. Jesus Christ.
This is exactly why we can't end podcasts.
Right, we can't. There's so
Everybody
much
should
to
just say amen.
Amen.
Out.